and welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, and for a while, rumors and scoops have been drifting across the internet, speculations around Damson Idris of Snowfall and F1 becoming Marvel's new T'Challa. Following skeptical interviews, the concept art, and his latest public appearance at Vogue's annual Vogue World event, to some it felt like a soft launch of his role as the next Black Panther, but to others, it was a coincidence that continues to fuel a very persistent, and at times, a very wishful fan rumor. So let's talk about what the f is happening with Marvel's T'Challa. Before we get into the video, I recognize I'm dressed up as Velma from Scooby-Doo. It is Halloween in which I am recording this, so... Are you in the spirit? Because I'm in the spirit. This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes launching your own website a breeze. If you're chronically online, or even a little bit online like me, you've probably heard the phrase hashtag Recast T'Challa. The hashtag began circulating through every social media pipeline shortly after Chadwick Boseman's death in August of 2020. The movement gained more traction in December of that year when Marvel Studios announced during Disney's Investor Day that they would not be recasting the role of T'Challa in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This sparked a lot of online discourse for a multitude of reasons. There was backlash against Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri, regarding her views on vaccines, prompting some to suggest reverting back to the original hero. Some argued that losing T'Challa meant losing a black male role model within the MCU. Though the actor passed, the story should go on. Although some left this up to Chadwick's legacy and respect, citing how the performance was so deeply iconic and personal, recasting just felt disrespectful. Or Marvel could just honor T'Challa's story, end it, and shift focus to another Wakandan character like Shuri, Nakia, or Okoye. There were videos, articles, petitions, and waves of online discussions whenever Black Panther was so much as mentioned, all rallying for or against hashtag Recast T'Challa. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was eventually released in 2022, revealing Shuri as the new Black Panther and T'Challa having a son that no one really knew about, which prompted more inquisitive fans to suggest maybe he'll be back in the new Black Panther movies as the new Black Panther. Marvel later confirmed a Black Panther 3 with former VP of Production and Development named Moore, expressing sadness about leaving Marvel Studios, but also his excitement about continuing to work on the project. Around the same time, in November 2024, during the Gladiator 2 press tour, this is when Denzel Washington revealed he was in talks with Ryan Coogler to join the film. Specifically, Ryan was writing him a part in the movie. Coogler went on to confirm Denzel's involvement in June 2025 on the podcast 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Still, there's been no word on whether T'Challa will be recast or what the plot might look like. If the film is released after Doomsday and Secret Wars, since the MCU is a shared universe, fans are left theorizing. And with both movies expected to be a crossover events featuring returning Marvel actors in recast roles, there's many questions. One remaining: are they recasting T'Challa? In January of 2025, scooper Jeff Snyder opened the floodgates again, alleging Marvel is looking to recast the Black Panther hero T'Challa. He went on to allege that an actor was offered the role in the past fall, a few months after Downey's big reveal at Comic-Con, but they turned it down, fearing it could jeopardize their career momentum by stepping into Boseman's shoes. This recast, he claimed, would have been made possible thanks to the Marvel multiverse. Multiple outlets ran with this story, many people considered it, and other people just ignored it. Then the concept art leaked. In March 2025, a Marvel concept artist shared several pieces of their own art on their personal Artstration page that was quickly taken down, but not before fans could save them. Among that collection of Avengers Doomsday illustrations of a Hulk village and a Sheriff Doctor Strange and Emperor Doom was what appeared to be a possible new Black Panther. Many observers believe the likeness is based on the actor Damson Idris, suggesting that we may be getting a new Black Panther, perhaps a new T'Challa played by Damson. The observations were based solely on the actor's working timeline, given that Snowfall had just ended, and their likeness to the concept art, which I kind of disagree with. This just looks like an older Chadwick Boseman. It's also safe to say concept art doesn't equal confirmation. We, Marvel fans, have seen loads of concept art that never made it into the final product. Daniel Craig's Boulder the Brave concept art from Doctor Strange 2, it never made it into the movie, and Doctor Strange wearing Iron Man's armor, which was concept art released in the book and made into action figures, also never showed up. I'm not saying this isn't Damson, I'm saying it doesn't look like him and I need better proof. The Russos addressed the concept art leak, denying that it was connected to Doomsday or Secret Wars. Still, I suspect they're not being entirely truthful here. The artist has worked with Marvel since 2020, and the Russos have every reason to keep fans intrigued without giving away too many spoilers for the upcoming film, and the best way of doing that is denying the concept art. Easy peasy. But then on June 18th, 2025, Damson Idris is featured on the Today Show doing press for F1. When he was asked about the speculation of him playing Black Panther, this is what it looked like.
There's some speculation out there in the universe that you could be cast as the next Black Panther. Have you had any conversations about that? Yes or no?
Yes, no.
By the way, the yes, no means yes.
Could mean no.
No, probably means yes. If they asked, would you say yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep in mind, even after this, they talk about other speculated roles he's taking, like James Bond, to which he says, "I'm already James Bond." But we, as intense Marvel fans, are zeroed in on Black Panther. The way he responded, coyly and a little uncomfortable, led some to interpret this as a yes, he is gonna be the new Black Panther. But to counter this, Marvel actors usually deny involvement in new projects to prevent spoilers, to maintain the hype, maybe even fulfill a contractual obligation, or more often, in my opinion, to avoid providing incorrect information. So this reaction could arguably be 50-50, but it still doesn't give us a confirmation that he's gonna play a new T'Challa or Black Panther.
Hi, Jeremy. This is Brie Larson, and I was just wondering, are you going to be in Avengers Doomsday?
Me? No, girl. Are you?
Many actors within Marvel have been coy or lied about their roles too. Daphne Keane for Deadpool and Wolverine being one of them. She even acknowledged after the fact, "I had a great time keeping it a secret. I got asked in every interview and I just got to lie," which was really funny. Brie Larson straight up acted confused at who Captain Marvel even was, knowing damn well she was playing Captain Marvel.
I'm down to play Chris Evans. Oh wait, no, Chris Evans is Captain America. Who's Captain Marvel? I have no idea what I'm talking about. Great.
However, there are also actors like Halle Berry, who repeatedly told the press she wasn't in Deadpool and Wolverine, and indeed, she did not appear in Deadpool and Wolverine. In a similar note, Natalie Portman was speculated to appear in Thor Ragnarok, but she ultimately did not. A denial doesn't always mean this actor isn't in the movie, and a confirmation doesn't guarantee the role will make the final cut. Take Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda, for example. She appeared in Marvel Zombies, but allegedly recorded her voiceover years prior and doesn't even remember doing it. November's all about Thanksgiving. You want your food, your home, and your guest list to be perfect. It's a lot of work, and that's why most of us don't host things. If you're online, you probably feel the same way about websites. It's easier to visit one than to build one, unless you use Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one tool that gives you everything you need to make a website that looks good and does whatever you need it to do. If you're selling goods or services, Squarespace can help you untangle digital payment platforms with just a few clicks, making it easy to start receiving payments right away using popular payment methods like Apple Pay, ACH Direct Debit, Klarna, and more. Plus, Squarespace's design intelligence tool makes it easy to get your website looking just right. It combines 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology. Every Squarespace website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more, so you show up more often to more people in global search engine results. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/newrockstars to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. In short, the Today interview makes for interesting speculation, but the wildfire of fan reactions was largely fueled by wishful thinking or extreme curiosity from Marvel fans. A month later, after that interview in July 2025, former VP of Production and Development Nate Moore denied the rumors, only slightly, by saying, "The truth is, there's no truth to these rumors. Never say never to anything. We haven't really had a lot of creative conversations with Ryan Coogler yet, because he's finishing his film Sinners, which comes out this year. We'll get into it later this year, but everything you read online is not true. If for no other reason, then we just haven't started working on it." So the rumors are slightly put to bed until Vogue World 2025. This month, October, Vogue World Hollywood celebrated, and I quote, "the ongoing dialogue between 2 dream factories, fashion and cinema." This event was organized into 7 chapters representing different genres of film, Afrofuturism, historical, sci-fi, and aesthetics like Gothic and Western, etc. To each chapter, a world-acclaimed and award-winning costume designer was assigned, and their work for film was displayed alongside pieces inspired by those costumes and made in collaboration with one of the 7 major fashion houses. Act 6, Afrofuturism, highlighted Ruth E. Carter, the costume designer we all know very well for Black Panther, for Sinners, for everything. It showcased iconic costumes from Black Panther with models and celebrities walking the runway in them. Angela Bassett was one of them. She walked. She stunned the runway wearing her Queen Ramonda outfit from the UN meeting in Wakanda Forever. However, one photo from this event became the hot topic of discussion, featuring Damson Idris alongside Angela Bassett, prompting more speculation that he's the new son of Wakanda. To observers in attendance, they noted that Angela was accompanied by Damson Idris, which rightfully is kind of fishy, considering he's been under speculation for the last 3 years of playing a new Black Panther. There's a ton of Black folks in Hollywood to accompany her. Why choose Damson if not to soft launch his role in Marvel? Right? Well, there's 2 reasons I suspect. One, this is better for PR. As everyone knows the rumors, why not lean into it? Did it not get you guys more press? I think it did. Secondly, Damson is still a very famous Black model recognized in Hollywood. He's walked for Prada. His introduction at this year's Met Gala was flashy and so memorable. Ruth E. Carter designed wardrobes for some guest at the 2025 Met Gala that was themed under Black style. It seems like Ruth and Damson would come together at some point, sometime in Hollywood, and this is that exact moment. There are other photos taken during the day, including behind-the-scenes shots of Damson Idris backstage with other Black Panther models and performers. So naturally, this causes a new wave of speculation, but to play devil's advocate, because that's what I do, there were many celebrities in attendance performing and backstage for the Black Panther portion, including Tiana Taylor, who had also not appeared in either of the Black Panther movies. So is it really a soft launch? or a day to reap the benefits of fan casting and celebrate Black fashion and artists. But then he does do a brief interview with Time magazine, one where he responds just as coyly as he did before.
Now, there's been speculation that you might take over a certain Black Panther role. What can you tell me about it? And if you were offered it, would you say yes?
No, I don't know anything about it.
Baby boy has a terrible poker face. He's not good at lying. So with all these pieces, fans have built what feels like a foolproof case for how T'Challa could return. But we can't overlook the man who made all of this possible, Ryan Coogler. On the official Wakanda Forever podcast, episode 1, when asked how important Chadwick Boseman was to the franchise beyond what audiences saw, Coogler reflected that Boseman's impact went far beyond acting. He was the creative and cultural foundation that made Black Panther possible. Long before there was a director or even a confirmed movie, Chadwick was already shaping T'Challa and Wakanda, pushing for authenticity and representation while still being the supporting actor on Civil War. Coogler spoke about the difficult conversations Chadwick had to go through as one of the few Black voices on that set, ranked 10th or lower on the call sheet while still carrying the weight of an entire culture in his performance with barely any guidance. Boseman wasn't just performing. Like Coogler says, he was leading. He was a writer, a director, an African cultural historian, and a protector of what Wakanda would become long before the world ever saw it. And with all that being said, he was then asked about recasting the role of T'Challa, whether he even considered it. What would it have meant to ask an actor to come and fill that role, to fill those shoes?
I don't think people fully appreciate any job that's not their own. But like the true day-to-day of my job is like, you know, several hundred days of long days of getting other professionals to believe in ideas that I find truthful. They have to believe in some kernel of truth. My truth is Chad was gone from the physical sense. He wasn't walking through that door. And in the world that we created over the years, he was the guy. For somebody else to be him, you know what I mean? For us, in the world that we created, we wouldn't have believed it. No matter how good the actor was, no matter how, you know what I'm saying? It would have been lacking the necessary truth for us to do a good job. And the truth is the well that we pull from as artists. Our truth was lost, which is a fact of life. It's the gift and the curse of life. Heroes, great men die.
So it sounds like they really don't want to recast T'Challa, and if everything we've discussed here is open to interpretation or speculation, I'd argue this new Black Panther doesn't have to be T'Challa. We already knew this. In Eyes of Wakanda's final episode, The Last Panther, we meet a Black Panther from the year 2396, fighting an alien species called the Hurd, the insects from the edge of the galaxy who blocked out their sun. Earth had tried to fight back, but without Wakanda's help, humanity was lost. That Panther uses a quantum scanner to find a weak spot for the Hurd, the root of the problem, where it all went wrong, which led them back to Killmonger's discovery of the vibranium axe in the British Museum. If Killmonger had never found that weapon, he never would have challenged T'Challa, and T'Challa would have never had a change of heart and opened the resources to the world, allowing that Panther to work with Earth to take down the Hurd earlier before it got worse. That episode reinforces a key idea. There will always be a Black Panther somewhere in time or across the multiverse who can still appear in the MCU. With Wakanda's tech evolution, it's easy to imagine a future Black Panther traveling back to our time just as the one in the Eyes of Wakanda did. Wakanda has always been centuries ahead of us, so the exact situation could plague the new Black Panther in the MCU. The royal palace within Wakanda was built 750 years before the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Wakanda's like 500 years ahead of us technologically. It can happen. Additionally, Nate Moore noted that the next Black Panther movie wouldn't arrive before the Avengers movies, and Avengers Doomsday is set for December 2026, followed by Avengers Secret Wars in December 2027. If that timeline still holds, it wouldn't be surprising to see a Black Panther variant appear in one of the movies, as Black Panther appeared in Civil War. It goes without saying, since both films are expected to explore collapsing multiversal realities, a merged universe by the end would give Marvel room to introduce characters like a new Black Panther, the X-Men, or even Miles Morales like the comics did after Secret Wars. I doubt we'll get Miles Morales that soon, but you get my gist. Unfortunately, most of the online conversations isn't are we getting a new Black Panther, but rather are we getting a new T'Challa. From what we've seen, Marvel has been deeply respectful of Ryan Coogler's creative vision. He's delivered a lot of success. He writes films really quickly. He's stacked Academy nominations, and he also developed one of 2025's best original films. That kind of trust is rare at Marvel. Even the Russo brothers, I feel, had limits. Coogler understands that Black Panther is more than a movie. It's a cultural landmark that deserves filmmakers who grasp its weight and legacy. And while the Wakanda Forever podcast suggests Coogler doesn't see the truth in recasting T'Challa, he may find hope and maybe faith in a new Black Panther, someone from another time or a universe who carries the spirit of Chadwick Boseman and honors T'Challa's legacy. Whether it's his son aged up or like a descendant centuries into the future, we can still celebrate Black Panther and respectfully leave T'Challa in the ancestral plane where he belongs. So let me know what you think about all of this this recent speculation. Do you think it's gonna happen? Let us know if you want a new T'Challa. I will say, clearly, I do not. I think we can build a new story for a new Black Panther and still celebrate and remember T'Challa. Heroes die, and I think that's an essential message to flag that Marvel only carries when it's deliberate in lifting another character's story. But when Marvel lets that mean something, it hits even deeper. We can show that heroes come in all shapes and sizes and backgrounds, and that at the end of the day, they're still human, just like us. What's more representative than that? Follow me at Lulu_Clemons. Subscribe to all the channels in the new Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Wakanda forever. Wait, Wakanda forever. The Dora Milaje. Do you think Black Velma would have been a Dora Milaje? No, she would have been with Shuri.